was like, we're going.
And of course, the minute we go live, I start getting text messages.
Ding,
That's
ding.
always how it happens, isn't it?
All right.
You're too popular for this.
Okay. I guess that means that Robbie got his
We're live.
okay, yeah. So the minute we go live, this always happens. The people in my family start texting me, and they never text me at other times. Well, they do, but not. I mean, all morning they haven't been texting me, and the minute we go live, it's like, there's some kind of an emergency with them. Hang on a second here. In the meantime, Kirsten will regale you with stories of how her children ask too many questions. Go, Kirsten.
I never said too many questions. So
There's no
let's
such thing as a dumb question, except for when you ask a dumb question.
So they're not dumb. They're actually, and I think it's more, I get frustrated with myself because I want to give them a correct and complete answer.
Kids, that's like their whole job is to ask questions and learn and soak
Right.
up all the knowledge.
Exactly. And so I never want to discourage them from asking questions. I just try to avoid topics that I'm not able to answer questions about. So thus, banana ball. My parents went to Savannah last week.
One of I don't know. I think I think it's fine, and they need to learn that it's fine that mommy doesn't know everything. And to be able to have a conversation in a nice, friendly, not frustrated way that says, I don't know the answer to that. So, let me show you this website called Wikipedia.
Well, yeah. And so they know that the internet exists. Oh, Ricky. Or Ricky.
Oh, you're off the hook. Is that it? You don't have to have this conversation anymore. Now you can just pass it on.
I will. I wanted
No,
her to.
There's a comment.
Go ahead.
Amy and Gary both say good morning with the exact same amount of exclamation points.
Good morning. And how are you kids this morning?
They were equally excited.
Yes.
Where were you guys last night? That's what I want to know.
It is morning. It is a little bit past 11 a.m. here in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. And it is, I get to pretend I know what day it is. I think it's Tuesday, and I think it's the 2nd of May. So that would be Dos de Mayo.
You know what that means is coming up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know that. Mexican restaurant day.
No, I was talking about the day before that.
Yes, Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
Star Wars
Day. May the 4th be with you.
Be with you.
Yes. So there's Star Wars Day, followed by put the mayonnaise in the sink day.
Cinco de Drinko.
Cinco de Mayo. I have a picture that I always post on my Facebook of a sink with a jar of mayonnaise in it for Cinco de Mayo.
So my husband's got this really long story. I'll have to record him telling it and post it or something. But he has this big long story about how Cinco de Mayo is actually about the Titanic. And I'm like, what?
See, this is the kind of thing that you need to be telling your kids when they ask you questions that you don't know the answer to. No, the sun doesn't set in the east because there's an ocean in the east and it would extinguish the sun. No, the sun sets in Arizona, and that's why it's red on the map.
And it's so hot.
And that's why it's so hot. Because the sun sets in Arizona.
Oh my God. Could you imagine them bringing that back to school though?
Exactly.
I literally cannot.
You would start getting notes from their teachers.
I already do. And they're too smart for their own good. They really are. They know the internet exists. So that's why when I said, mommy doesn't know about that. Can't you just look it up on your phone? Yes, I can, but I'm also driving.
So could you.
Yeah.
You have fingers.
You know how to read and write now? Come on. Let's go.
Yeah. So on 6 de Mayo, I'm very, very excited about Seis de Mayo this year. Because on Seis de Mayo, I'm driving out to LA to see one of my favorite musicians, Louis Cole. And I'm super excited about that. And if y'all don't know who Louis Cole is, go on them interwebs, go on that YouTuber, and find Louis Cole. He's got a lot of videos of his music, and then he also has a band with his girlfriend called Knower, Knower, and they do crazy shit. And it's all just brilliant. Actually, Knower has a new album dropping, I think today, called "I'm the President." And I was just looking at the video for the title track, and it's brilliant. It's like really, really great music with hysterical lyrics. Reminds me very much of Frank Zappa in that way. Except maybe not so topical as Frank Zappa. I mean, Zappa always had something, topical and, interesting for the, in those kinds of ways.
Yep. Okay, that's it. I am going to have to insist. Do you hear me? Insist that you watch Bo Burnham's Inside on Netflix. I'm gonna have to insist it.
Well, send me a link. Send me a link.
A link to you. It's on
Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix. Okay,
I'll
so
send
then
you the title and the name.
You have to write it down and spell it because I'm not understanding the words.
I actually can send you a link directly from Netflix to your phone. There's an option to do that. So I'm literally
there you
all
go.
over it.
There you go. It's
all over it.
Yeah. The technical department is all over this.
Especially with Ricky as serious as she was just now.
I'm so deadly serious.
So what's it called?
Okay, just texted you the title. Oops, my caps lock was on. I'm not angry. It's just
she's
yelling.
Burnham Inside. Burnham Inside. I would have never guessed that from what I heard.
Look who's inside again.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can find it from that, and but first I have to finish watching The Diplomat, which is what
I haven't had a chance to look at that one yet.
Oh my God, it is! Did you see The Americans?
I have a bunch of stuff on my list. Turns out I do not have as much free time as I thought I once did.
Yeah, how about that? The life of a mom.
It's honestly rude.
I know rude. Those kids, they just get in the way of everything, don't they?
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Like this video if you agree. Just kidding. Don't do that. I don't need anybody.
Tell your friends. So the other interesting thing that's going on in the world today is that we're talking about television shows. So the movie and television writers went on strike today.
Oh, that's right.
For those who know me, I've got a lot of film and TV people in my family and in our circle of friends. I know a lot of writers. I'm a writer. I don't write, for that medium, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I would enjoy doing that. And I've actually thought about writing a spec film script, which I may do someday. The writers went on strike today, and what they're looking for. So it used to be that writers were hired by the studios and they would be paid well, and they could live a good life and have a house and a picket fence and kids and cars and not extravagant unless they were super successful, but over time, the landscape has changed, and the landscape has changed again. And most writers now are freelance. Almost all of them. I don't think there's any that really work for production companies anymore. And they get paid, they either get paid a certain amount of money plus some back end, or they get, most of them are just, paid by the script. And that pay is getting less and less. And some of them get some royalties, but those royalties are limited to like broadcast and a few things, and they're just not getting by anymore. Very, very few of them. It used to be a decent sized industry, and today it's like, I don't know how many, but if you look at one of your TV shows, you might see that they have, 5 or 6 writers in the writers' room. And if the show gets very popular, then they start getting some producer credit and they start getting a little bit more money. But for the vast majority, it's like, they're barely getting anything. And as they get less and less, the studios and the streaming companies are making more and more, because they're moving into these streaming mediums, which are not covered by the writers' contracts or by the actors or anybody else's contracts. And they're keeping all that money and they're not paying any residuals or royalties or back end on any of that money. And in fact, they keep all that accounting very secret. They don't tell you. You'll notice that you can find out what the box office is for a film that's released in theaters. You go to boxofficemojo.com or someplace like that, and you can find out how much money they made last weekend. But try to find out how much money a particular show made on Netflix, or a movie made, streaming on Amazon, or any of those. Hang on a second. Yeah, these are working right. I don't know. They're weird. And that's because they really don't want anybody to know, because they didn't want this to happen. And now the writers are saying, hey, you guys are paying us less and less and you're making more and more, and we really can't get by on what, I mean, most of them no longer even have health insurance. They're in between writing gigs, they're driving for Uber. I mean, this ain't right. And so they're striking, and they tried to work out deals. They've been negotiating for over a year with the Producers Alliance that includes Netflix and all the streamers, and so now they're on strike. The last time the writers went on strike, I don't know, it lasted like 3 or 4 months, and it TV shows were delayed for, a season or a year, and that could easily happen again. And while the writers are out on strike, all the other unions in Hollywood are honoring the picket lines. And so production will grind to a stop. And there won't be any more new movies or new TV produced, over the next however long this takes. Hopefully it doesn't take long. But, they're so far apart, I really don't see it getting resolved quickly. And that means that, a year from now, people are going to be going, well, why don't I have a new season of my favorite TV show? And, how come there's no good movies out at the theater?
That's exactly what I sound like, actually.
Well, yeah, I was doing my impression of you.
Okay. I love it. It's so on par.
And but the other thing that and this is tangential, but you know me, I love a good tangent.
We do.
So I was on Twitter this morning, and every thread about the writer's strike had a million. It had a long list of what I'm starting to call red hat blue checks, because they have the blue checks now because they're paying Elon $8 a month for the blue checks, but I know they're sitting there behind their keyboard wearing a red MAGA hat. And they're all like, oh, I guess that means that, our TV shows won't be all woke anymore because Hollywood's all woke, and now they won't be able to indoctrinate us with all their wokeness. And it would be hysterical if it wasn't so sad. Because this doesn't just mean that these writers, and they pretend that the writers are like sitting in their mansions and smoking crack through $100 bills, but they're not. I mean, they're out driving Uber just to put food on the table. And now all of the camera people, all of the set people, all of the gaffers and the production designers and the editors and the sound effects editors and the musicians and everybody else is now going to be out of work for however long this takes. And all these people are losing their jobs. They're all losing their livelihood. They're all having trouble putting food on the table. And y'all want to fetch about woke. It makes me mad. It makes me mad partly because I know a lot of these people. But it just makes me mad that this whole swath of our country has just gotten so calloused and so indoctrinated by the right-wing media that they can't see past their own slogans. It drives me nuts. And now they all have blue checks, so it's really easy to avoid them. It's really easy to, I wish there was a button where I could just turn off everybody with a damn blue check. But then
we don't believe you.
Knowing Elon, he would just start handing them out to all the left-wing, people, just to confuse me, because that's the way that he is. Anyway, that's my rant about that. Please support unions. Unions are why we have 5-day work weeks instead of 7-day work weeks. Unions are why you have 8-hour work days instead of 16-hour work days. Unions are why you have safety standards in your workplace. Unions are why you don't have 9-year-olds making Nikes in the U.S. Unfortunately,
that we know of.
Still do that in China, but we have no say over there. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. So I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed delivering it.
Wonderful.
Deliverance. That's probably not the right way to use that word, but
Yeah, well, I don't know. Eureka.
Just start saying random words.
Spartacus.
There you go.
This is Sparta.
That's all I got. Well, you guys got anything else? Ricky had something else, I thought.
Oh, yes. One last comment from Gary Bennett says, I'm in the UK time. I was sleeping.
What's that?
Oh.
For why he missed the live last night.
Oh, yeah.
UK time.
Ricky, are you wearing your things?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't hear you very well. It may just be your cute little kitty voice, but
maybe. Hold on. I might be
or
talking
maybe
far from the. Hold on.
It's your AirPods.
Or maybe it's just my my deficient damn hearing.
I don't know. Maybe I was talking too quiet.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. Anyway.
That would be talking too quiet.
I see. Yeah. Yeah.
Want to give an example.
All right. That's it for this morning. It looks like we're running out of time. Love y'all. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same bat channel.
Bye.
Bye.